everyone. Thank you for coming in this afternoon. I know the weather's getting better and we like to be seen out in the sunshine more than we like to be seen sitting in our little closet in space. Today, I wanted to talk about how our emotions affect our frequency and what we can do about it. I've got my little notes over here on the side. So the title, Using Your Own Emotions to Manipulate the Frequency. Well, the reason I chose that title is because we need to recognize that we are responsible for our emotions, no one else, and that our emotions have a lot to do with our frequency. Because what we believe makes us either happy, sad, angry, fearful, in love, out of love. There's a lot of emotion in our day-to-day life. Our chakras do the positive and negative flow with them. They ebb and flow according to our thoughts. All of this has been told to you, retold to you, explained differently to you. You've taken classes on it. The best ones are the ones where you've got at least 50 people in the room because everybody gets pumped and they're writing notes and they're singing songs and they're dancing and life is so good. The funny thing about that is that when they go home, they can't replicate the experience. So what we're looking at is that our emotions are our responsibility, but we do feed off of other people. Now, I don't know if I've said this. I probably have because it's one of my favorite go-tos. And I repeat things a lot because they bear repeating. They're worth hearing again and again until you get it. Because in fairness, I'm going to repeat this again too. Why are we still going through the same old stuff? Why are we trying to create a world in which we're living in peace only to keep letting the drama in? You know? And I've seen people create this, and I've seen them operate from the victim stance, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But first, let's talk about when we're in utero with our family, with our mother, our first emotion is felt in utero. Emotions are predicated on a hormonal response. So the two top emotions are love and fear. Love is that cozy, positive, I can manifest anything, power-driven, be in my spirituality kind of emotion. And fear is false evidence appearing real. But when you're a baby in utero, as your mom is walking down the street, a car may come by and almost clip her, and it scares her and it sends an adrenaline rush through her body. Well, that adrenaline rush can create fear in you, the child, or it can create an adrenal addict where, boy, that's a good high. I really like that. So you get adrenal junkies. Either way, the fear-based scenario that we work from is our home-based emotion. Or the first time that you felt emotion could have been that in-love feeling that you had experienced because your mother saw pictures of you in utero, or her husband walked in the door and she was just flooded with such love. Those kind of things give us our base emotion, our home-based emotion. Now, does that mean even in the family structure, we all can operate from a different emotion? Each one of us can have a different home-based emotion, which makes for very different children. More importantly, it's how we were taught to deal with the emotion. I was not taught to deal with conflict well. So, for my lesson in this life, I had to learn to deal with conflict. And I hate conflict. I think in my little fantasy head, that everybody should just take responsibility and do what they need to do to the best of their ability. I think that if you see the lawn that needs mowing and you've got 15 minutes, then mow the yard. That's how I think. But I recognize the fact that most of the people that I've ever dated don't operate from that frequency, and certainly not the relationships I ended up in long term with. I remember it was surprising to me that people didn't do what I do, like just do the work. Because they said, well, I'll be there later, and so I want to rest now. Well, they spent so much time resting that their work never got done. Whereas my work was done and I was studying metaphysics. That was my joy, so it was like my reward. I get that not every one of us sees things differently. Some people are better at pacing. I'm very ADHD, so I'm always up moving. But my home-based emotion was always happier than my sister's. They kind of fell into that victimhood. And those words that we tell ourselves, like, I'm not good enough, special enough, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm too thin, I'm this, I'm that. Those judgments upon our spirit is so silly, because the spirit doesn't see rich, poor, fat, thin, lazy, not lazy. That's the human condition. That's what we learn from being human. So when we do these buy-ins with other people in our emotions, as we let them come into our world to teach us that we are good enough by making us fight for our beliefs, then we should learn. And so each time we learn the same pattern that we learn that we're good enough, why do we need to keep bringing it in? And it's because we're not allowing our emotions to vibrate at a higher frequency. There's ways you can do this. All the standard, eat right, exercise. We all know that Dunkin' Donuts, while it may be a party in our mouth, it is not a party in our vibration. It's dead food. I'm not saying that I am perfect. I like my mint cheese yogurt. I like chocolate cake once in a while. Those are experiences, but I try not to dwell within that, because they're dead food. They come from mix. They come from not live. So we have to go back and change our frequency through our diet. And we can do that by eating live, fresh, raw vegetables and fruit. Not everybody can do this. I totally understand, because some people have allergens or an allergic reaction to food that is alive. But we can still eat a lot better by not embracing the sugar, the white flour, the white rice. We can still eat a step up from what we were eating. That's going to change your frequency. But you know what else changes your frequency? Music. Music is huge. Do you remember when you were young and you were going out dancing, or maybe you were going to a wedding? Everybody had a blast if the music was good. Nobody had a good time when the music was bad. And when you were going out to the bar to go dancing, they made men wear collared shirts, because women always seem to dress up. But men, they would be happy in their t-shirt. Do you know why they had men wear collared shirts? Because they had a tendency to behave better. Because they were dressed for like their Sunday best. And they presented better. So when you meet this really great guy, and he's buying you a drink and he's taking you out on the dance floor and telling you you're beautiful, he's not wrong. You are. The problem is that he took his shirt off the next day and didn't get dressed up till the next time you went out. And so it had an effect on his frequency. So maybe he got grumpy when he got home from work, and he was tired because he worked a physical labor job. And you're expecting him to be that upbeat person. Well, the same holds true with men, with us women. We have a lot of stress when we're the ones expected to cook, clean, and take care of the kids. There's that division of gender that creates a really hard concept for us to overcome vibration and to raise our consciousness. By having gender identity roles, like we're women and women do the inside of the house and men do the outside of the house, we've limited our existence. We've limited our experience. I love working in the yard. And if I had my choice, somebody would be inside cooking me dinner and vacuuming, and I'll take care of the yard because that's where I feel alive. That's where I vibrate to. I love earth. And I love working in dirt. That doesn't mean that they can't also, so maybe splitting the effort. But what I find more and more about people and their frequency and how their vibration, especially right now, is sagging, is that we forget to put our pretty panties on. And that goes for men too. And what I mean by that is making ourselves feel good and look good from the inside out. Somebody told me, well, it's easy for you to do because you have this, this, and this. That's no more easy for me to do. I like looking like a slob and curling up on the couch and watching Netflix all afternoon, but that's not my reality. Because if I'm going to make a difference in my world and change my frequency, I have to provide services for people so that they can enjoy their world, so I can help them. Because that's what Resonant Essentials is. It's creating profound change for the future. When we go in and we take an aspect of ourselves and sit back and say, well, I'm doing the work. I'm a healer, or I'm a psychic, or I'm this, or I'm that. I'm just waiting for Spirit to bring me in all the people. Hi, Adia. Spirit doesn't bring anybody in for you. You have to change your frequency to get people in for you. It's not enough to be good at what you do. You have to hold the frequency so that other people are drawn to your light. You can be one heck of a psychic, but if you don't feel good about yourself, or you're fearful that you're not going to make enough money to pay the bills, then you're not going to get enough people in to pay the bills. Spirit is only helping you through so much of their own stuff. Hey, Pat. Spirit only can help you so far. It's called free will. And having the concept that we're not good enough, we've listened to the wrong people. When we were younger, especially those of us who are from the Aquarian age, Aquarian children, we had to cross that crossover of Victorian thought process ending at the Piscean age, and the Aquarian children coming in who were to actually usher in the new age. And we were drilled about God being over the top of us and we were going to go to hell, and fear was a big, huge thing that we got instigated in. And I can tell you that my sister, I laugh now because I realize the significance of the dream, but I'll never forget the dream. She told me I was going to go to hell if I didn't go to church, to the Baptist church. And I was like, I'm not going to the Baptist church. I tried that when I was 7. I got kicked out of the Baptist church. She had rejoined the Baptist church when she moved here to Albuquerque, and I was here visiting her. And they'd all come to see her. So I had a dream that night that I was walking a very fine line. It was a tightrope. And on this side, it was beautiful and calm and peaceful. And on this side was burning hell. And I got so scared that in my dream I was going to fall into hell that I said, you know what? Let's just see what happens when we jump into it. And I jumped in my dream right into hell. And guess what? It was just as beautiful on that side as it was on this side in my dream. I landed into just a beautiful space, and I realized that it's about your understanding of what you're expecting to create. And I get the fact that we think that we're healers because we take a class, or we're amazing psychics because we took a weekend course. We have to study and train at this. This work that we do to become masters at metaphysics is about training and studying and reading and talking about and seeing your strengths and working on your weaknesses, not waiting for spirit to bring you a client, because they don't. Another example, I think it was the first 2 years of having my massage practice. And in my massage practice, it was funny because when I had like a couple of cancellations that week, I was paranoid, thinking, oh my God, I'm not very good at my work. And the truth of the matter is, I shouldn't have taken it personal. They just had things they had to do, and maybe they couldn't afford it that week because they had to pay for other things, or maybe they had other things come up. But I learned that if I rephrased my mindset and said, oh gosh, that gives me some more time, I can clean the office, I can take a class, I can do this, I can do that. It was an opportunity to turn something that made me fearful, because I was starting my practice and I wanted to be good at what I was doing. In fact, I was damn good. I had to go back to the point of, it's okay that what they had to do just left me time that was perfect for what I needed to do. And then I remembered a woman who, she decided that she wanted an appointment. Now, I will tell you that she had all week to get in. She was flat on her back at home, but she had a date. She got it asked out on Thursday. So she wanted an appointment on Friday because her back was really jacked, which is why she was at home. And she wanted me to fit her in. I said, I'm booked. And she goes, well, what about Saturday? I said, I'm sorry, I'm not working this Saturday. Not feeling like I needed to explain myself. Just no is good enough. Well, why won't you work for me? I have a date. So because I have my grandson's first birthday party, and I'm planning on spending the day with my grandson and my daughter. Oh my gosh. I put a child in front of her date when she had all week. Well, what constitutes an emergency in somebody else's life doesn't necessarily have to constitute an emergency in yours. We know this. But my fear came in is, what if I lose her as a client? And then I thought, well, she had all week to call me. She's not much of a client if she didn't want to get well. And do I want to work with people who want the healing? Do I want to work with people who want the work? Or do I want to work with people who want to be a victim and make me the bully? Never saw her again. I made up my mind I was not going to accept anybody who came in and didn't want to do the work. Why should I? If you don't show up to do the work, why should Spirit show up to give you clients? If you don't show up to be the other half of an adult relationship, why should you get a date for Friday night? Your frequency is what's going to tell you about how that works. Now, I can tell you that fear, again, false evidence appearing real. I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to repeat it twice so you kind of get it, because it's a mouthful. What is it that you believe that you need to unbelieve so that you come into your truth? What is it about you and your work and your life that you need to unbelieve or disbelieve or no longer believe to come into the light of truth? Because we can't come in with beliefs and think our life is going to work. I know I'm damn good at this work. I know I'm one hell of a healer. I know that when people need me, they'll show up. The right people will show up. And in the meantime, I'm going to continue working to provide Resonant Essentials, Esoteric School of Metaphysics, that's going to be a global online school for people to teach from. And do you know who are going to be the teachers? The ones that can teach. Not the ones that think they can. Not the ones that want to teach something so that they're seen up there as stars of their parade, because I don't have time for that. If you want to be a star and you want to have all that ego recognition, you probably aren't going to fit well in, because I'm putting together people who are passing truth. And it's going to be amazing. And it's not going to just include the gifts of spirit. It's not going to include just metaphysics, because we live in the 3D world. So what does that mean? The 3D world has fear. And all of us can slide down that bucket into that fear pool. We can get tossed out with the baby water, bath water, throw the baby out with the bath water, something like that. We can be afraid that we're not good enough, thin enough, beautiful enough. Or we can be glad. And I'll show you a difference. Somebody told me the reason they don't like wearing the mask is it ruins their makeup. You know why I liked wearing the mask? Hell, I looked younger. They couldn't see any of my wrinkles. It was awesome. And some 30-year-old tried picking me up, and then he realized how old I was, and bless his heart, he wasn't trying to run, but he wasn't trying to stick around. He didn't know what to do. And how funny is that? Because I had a mask on that did away with the wrinkles and the tiredness in my eyes. And that's okay. That's okay, because I've also learned that I can get younger and healthier just through meditation and prayer. Which is why when I turn 62 this year, I'll be embracing my 62-year-old woman status with a very healthy, clean body, because I'm changing my frequency. Because if this year didn't teach you anything, it was that you have all the tools in the toolbox. Nothing that I am saying is new to you. Nothing is not what it is. It's you. Truly, it is you, not me. It's me and not you, because I'm the one in charge of creating my world. I'm the one that's creating the opportunity for me to walk on water. I'm the one that's creating the opportunity for me to serve humanity. I can't do it if my light isn't bright. Now, our emotions, there's so many different ways to change your emotion, because truly it's rough. Hormones affect it, especially for women. Lack of testosterone will lead a woman to where she's got foggy brain. So does it with men, by the way. They lose valuable strength and passion. And there's ways of getting that back in through eating correctly and supplementing to kind of clean off our endocrine system so it operates at a higher frequency. Meditation is another way. Putting a bowl of water near you when you meditate raises the vibration so you can meditate easier. Lighting an incense. Listening to some rock and roll, country and western, whatever you like to listen to inspire you. Paint. Go for a walk. Don't get stuck. And don't think Spirit's going to do it for you, because if you're waiting for Spirit to bring you clients, they're going to say good luck with that, because you have free will. If they're not seeing you because your light isn't bright enough, then what are you going to do? So here's what I want you to do. It's just a small experiment. I want you to think about doing this. Every night before you go to sleep, I want you to meditate. And I want you to pull that light in. And then I want you to send it out. I want you to send it out through your house. See it fill the walls, the floors, the ceiling, and move down the hall, out the front door, out the back door, and just going out through everywhere into the neighborhood. Go in, you absorb the neighbors' houses. You know, we talk about how crime is so bad in our neighborhood. It's because it's low vibrating, because crime can't come in if that light is there. So we're in Albuquerque. So we have a bad crime faction. Go back and read some of the meditations for Monday nights from Albuquerque Vibrations. That's the meditation group I started. I need to get back to it, and I probably will start writing the meditations as soon as I finish getting the school up and running. But for this week, I want you to feel that white light, and I want you to send it out. And then I want you to send it up like one of those big spotlights. And I want you to say, I am of service to others. I am drawing to me those who can most benefit from my work, from who I am as an individual. I am here to bring healing. This isn't a belief. It's got to be your knowing. We're not here. And it doesn't even matter if you live in Albuquerque. You can do this in your own hometown. It doesn't matter, but you have to open the door to be ready for this work to happen for you. If you're not getting the clients, it's not anyone else's fault but yours. You're in charge of your story. So you need to make it pure and divine and authentic and in integrity. And then tell them I'm ready to be of service. I hope that gives you a little inspiration for the week. If you do this every night, send that frequency out every night, you'd be surprised at the people who keep showing up, or start showing up. You'd be surprised that it doesn't matter where you're working from. And I'll give you a little incentive here. I know somebody who probably made $3,000-$4,000 a month doing healing work from home, long distance healing. Pretty good. She built up her light, and people reached out and said, help me. I'm depressed. Help me. I need a reading. Help me. So when you're ready to do your work, know that we here at Resonant Essentials are happy to help you. We have some heat problems right now, but we're still having working by appointment. And if you have a clientele and need a place to work from, give me a holler. I'm looking for people who want to raise their frequency and be part of a community. I hope you enjoy your day. My heart to all of yours. Have a blessed weekend. Mwah. Bye now.